You're locked into Inception Radio Network, Superior, Wisconsin.
And now your host of California MUFON Radio, Lorien Fenton.
Welcome, everyone, to the California MUFON Radio Show. I'm your host, Lorien Fenton. Really happy to have you all here with me this evening. I'm looking for an email from my producer, MJ. It's got all kinds of great statistics from MUFON in it, and I wanted to read it to you guys tonight, but for some reason, MJ, I'm just not seeing it. I don't know what's going on here. This is so crazy. It should be here, but oh dear, I'm just going to have to wait till next week to do the statistics. You know, it's my favorite part of the month. It's so crazy. I look forward to that email so much, and I didn't get it this month. Or if I did get it, it's gone somewhere into my email that I'm never going to see again. It's in my black hole of disappearance, I think is what it's called. I might have deleted it by accident trying to save it. I don't know. But anyhow, so, maybe, let's see what MJ's got to say here. He's going to say in something. I'm going to have to get to my MUFON. He sent it again. Let's just see. I'll try one more time, folks. We're going to do the one more time, see if I can get the email. Yes, I got it. Yay, I'm so excited. Okay, where is it now? Let's see. Oh boy. Okay. I can't believe that this email just gets me going every month. It's so cool. I hope you guys enjoy it too. Those of you that are MUFON members, you get this, and it is so much fun to go through. I swear, it tickles me every time I open this email. I love the MUFON Symposium email because they're telling us about the people that are going to show up in September at the MUFON Symposium, and you can check that out at mufonsymposium.com. But this email and the one that tells the stories about the different CMS cases, that one's awesome too. But this is what you'd get, folks. You'd get a complete monthly statistical MUFON report every month. And it usually comes for April, the first week of May. And this is what I look forward to it. So here we go. For the United States, there were 545 sightings. That's up a little bit from last month. Canada had 55 and the UK had 31. Now, that's so weird because last month Canada wasn't anywhere in second place. So that is very odd. But I can't say that it's too odd because maybe somebody closed out some reports in Canada last month and got them going, and that's why it's jumped up this month. But boy, how cool is that? 55 in Canada, 545. And these are the number of reports. This is the number of reports that have been taken, written down, turned into the CMS. And boy, I'll tell you what, folks, as soon as we get the CMS working, where you can go in and make your own report without having to get into an investigator's, CMS reporting system, it's going to be absolutely amazing. This is going to jump. This is my guess, folks. This is just my guess. The statistics are going to jump by thousands once we can do it ourselves. It's going to be extraordinary because unlike, the UFO Reporting Center with Peter Davenport, which I highly respect, and I think you guys should report your sightings there as well, and a few other of the reporting places, if the CMS gets to the point where all you have to do is go on the website, click, and hit enter, and you're done, and your report is in, and you can make a commentary, at the bottom of each page about something extraordinary that might have happened, and then you could ask for a investigator to get a hold of you. I mean, if you've got aliens walking up to you in your front yard and you've got cell phone footage of it, you're going to want to get a hold of an investigator, I'm sure, because you're going to need some help with that, you know? So, yeah, so this is what it's so cool about the CMS, and I can't wait till it gets automated to the point where everybody can do it themselves. I can't wait. Anyhow, all the other countries down there are hovering at 3, 2, and 1, and there were 709 total. Now, within the United States, as usual, California had 66 reported sightings. Now, this is interesting. Florida's jumped up to 49, which is quite high for Florida, but maybe someone, again, closed out some cases. Texas is at 36, Michigan 26, New York 25. Oh, Oregon really made a big jump to 22. Wow, because I know that they were down around 12 or 13 last month, if I remember correctly. It's my home state, so I don't forget that too often. But someone there must have closed out some cases. Ohio, same thing. Arizona, 20. Illinois, 20. Pennsylvania, 19. Boy, I think people are getting their work done here. This is good. This is really good. But again, wait till this jumps to thousands. You guys are just going to be shocked at what's going on there. Okay, let's see now. Okay, shapes of the objects, my favorite part of the whole thing. Okay, the sphere was leading again this month at 144. Now we're back to the part that really upsets me. What is other doing in there at 73? I mean, other, there should be no other. You have to decide what you're looking at. I mean, I don't get this. MJ, you're going to have to explain this to me when we get off the air. I do not understand other. I just really don't. It infuriates me is what it does. Because it's got to look like something. Maybe it's invisible. Maybe they should write down invisible. Make this thing, is it 73 others? I mean, come on. Okay, I'm getting a comment. Blobs. Oh, yeah, I agree. Blobs. They should just put blob up there. That would be fine. But, you know, this other thing is just, it doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm not going to digress into that craziness right now. I'm just going to head on down the list. Triangles came in at 68. That's a lot, you guys. Discs, 67. Star-like are 57. Circles, which is interesting, a circle, 50. Ovals, 30. And then here we are, another one that just makes me angry, an NA for not applicable. I guess it was a sighting of a Bigfoot flying or something. I don't know. I have no idea why this is there. Doesn't make any sense. But 27 people said they had no idea what it was that they were looking at. And then 73 people said it was an other type of object. So maybe it was a bird, a plane, or Superman. I don't know. See, those two categories make me insane. Okay. Then we got a fireball at 27, cylinders at 25. You know, these cylinder crafts blow my mind. I have heard some of the most extraordinary depictions of sightings of cylinder craft my entire life, and this is just mind-boggling to me. I have heard that they go very slow, very low, and they're silent, and they just move along like a couple hundred feet over the surface of the planet. And I'm like, whoa. And when can I see one? That's what I'm waiting for. I want to see a cylinder next. Oh my gosh, there's an unknown category down here to make me insane too at 23. So, okay, I'm going to do this just because it makes me nuts. Other, not applicable, and unknown. We have 23, 27, and 68. So that is 23 and 27 is 50. That's 118 that nobody knows. No, it's actually more than that. I was adding up the wrong one. 123 that we have no idea what they are. So that's kind of a high number. So I've got to call Jan Harson and get this straightened out because it makes me nuts. Okay. Then we got the squares and the rectangles at 21, boomerangs at 21, cigar shape. Now, there's another one that really is cool. And I don't know if very many of you know about this, but there is a vineyard called Bonnie Doon Vineyard in Santa Cruz or Woodside, California, somewhere in south of San Francisco, that has, it's called Cigar Volant, and it is their label that has a cigar spacecraft that was flying over Belgium in the late 1800s, shooting a red beam down on the vineyards. So yeah, so they got a special alien taste to them. They're alien flavored grapevines back in the late 1800s, and their caps, they don't have corks anymore on their bottles, but they have an alien head on the twist top. So it's pretty cool. It's like the cover of Communion alien head, with the two eyes and the oval egg face. And I think it's so cool. But what's interesting about them is I've called them to actually, be my sponsor for a show or sponsor a conference or whatever, and they don't want to talk about the aliens. They've got them all over their products, but no, do they want to talk about aliens? No, not at all. It's kind of bizarre. I'm still trying to figure that one all out. Someday I'm going to go there and visit the winery and find the owner and ask him what this is all about. Very cool stuff, I'll tell you. So anyhow, then we moved down to boomerangs 21. Oh, I just said that. Diamonds 13, chevrons 9, flashes. Now, flashes are cool. I got to tell you, folks, I saw a flash one day. I was at a investigation. That's the only way I can describe it. I was only there till 4 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't take it anymore. I was outside. I was getting cold, and it was really starting to just bother me that I wasn't seeing anything at all. So after about 7 hours of sitting there waiting for the spacecraft to land, and I just was getting ready to go, and the guy whose place we were at investigating, it was a good friend of mine, Brett Luter, and I went there. And the guy's place is in Galt, California, and his name is Richard. And we went, we were just getting ready to pack up. Actually, I was. Brett was staying the rest of the evening. But Richard walked out to his car, and he had to go around this gate and then into his car, and then he was coming back down the driveway around the gate, and I was looking right at him. I was parallel to my car and him walking down the driveway. And just as he got to the front of my car, there was a light flashing so bright that it lit up probably an acre of light. That's how bright this was. But it was emanating from the ground. So it was very crazy. I still don't know what it was. It was super fast, super bright. It was just a flash. And I've been told by a lot of people that possibly we were all abducted and put back, and that's what the flash of light was, them leaving. So I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I don't remember anything. It's just like I'm as good to the aliens as a secret spy because I don't know anything. I don't remember anything. And if they're taking me and they're doing stuff to me, I have no recall. Unlike the woman who's going to be on our show tonight, Miesha Johnston, who has recall, I have no recall. I have nothing. All I saw was a giant flash. So, maybe that was a ship. Maybe it was just the aliens saying hi and, taking a picture of us, an astral picture. I don't know if they use flash bulbs or what, but whatever it was extremely brilliant, folks. I mean, it seriously lit up the whole 2 or 3 block area. It was that bright, and it was coming from the ground. So I just have no idea what that was. Okay, moving on, we have blimps, we have cones. Blimps were at 8, cones at 7, eggs at 4, teardrops 4, Saturn-like. I always liked Saturn-like. That's a very interesting, it looks like a planet. That's kind of cool. Saturn-like 3, a bullet and a missile 2, and a cross. Now, crosses have made it all the way down to number 1. So they are just, 1, and they are in the bottom position. So that's too bad. Crosses were making their way up there for a while, if you guys remember correctly. Okay, distance from the witness, less than 100 feet. Wow. No, it's greater than 100 feet. I'm sorry. It's greater than 100 feet is 133. 101 to 500 feet were 98. 50 feet to a mile, 151. Over a mile, 170. Unknown. Okay, again, unknown. I guess it's hard to tell. When I saw my craft, I couldn't tell how far away it was. I had no idea. It could have been a really big craft many miles away, or it could have been a very small craft just, 50 feet above my head. I have no idea, but it seemed like it was quite high up. It just seemed that way to me. So I really have no idea. But yeah, I can get that. The unknown value makes sense in this category. I can swing with that. Okay. So anyhow, 33 of the people out of that from the distance just had no idea at all, let alone unknown. They gave them no value at all because they couldn't even fathom how close or far away it was. You know what's weird is, like, if you have a flash, how do you determine how far away that is too? So I guess I can understand that. So that makes sense. All right. Well, hey, that was my big fun for the month. I hope you guys had a good time listening to me ramble on about these shapes. I sure love them, and I love how many, sightings are in each state every month. And let's see. MJ sent me a little super surprise for you guys today. It says, underneath all of the values in the distance from the witnesses, it says, most impressively, there were 22 landings, hoverings, or takeoff reported, and 1 entities observed. That's cool. Let's see. Wow. Okay. To review the CMS data yourself, go to www.mufon.com and check out UFO case files. Go to number 1, easily look at the last 20 sightings, or 2, do a customized search of the CMS database by date and or location. So, and number 3, the third part of that is log on to the CMS for even more detailed UFO sighting information about your state and the world. So there you go, folks. This is really an amazing thing. For the $35 a year you spend to be a MUFON member, this is the best part of it all for me. So I hope you're all getting up to your computer, sitting in front of your computer and logging on to MUFON.com. That would be wonderful, and become a member of MUFON. It's a lot of fun. Now, I have just a couple of more announcements, and we'll get to our guest tonight. If you want to see what happened at UFOCon 2015, and let's see, now I've got to get the magnifying glass out because I am blind as a bat these days, and I've got to look at what the code was I gave everybody to get a discount. Okay, there it is. Okay. You're going to go to UFOCon2015.com. You're going to click on Watch UFOCon 2015. I should probably go there. This is ridiculous. I don't know why I don't have all these windows open. You guys have got to just spank me. It's just because I come home from work at 7:45 and I sit down and I go, okay, what now? I just got to get a cup of coffee, get ready for the show, and then my brain shuts down. Oh, dear. So what happens is, if you go to UFOCon 2015, it'll actually point you to UFOCon 2013, which is the home page for all of my events. And there is a pretty kind of goldish button that says Watch 2015 on Demand. If you click on that button, it will take you to Watch UFOCon 3, 28, and 29, 2015, and then you can follow the instructions. But when it asks you to put in the code to get the discount through the system there that I have, it's an on-demand system, you're going to put in capital U, capital F, capital O, capital C, the number 1, and the number 5. So that's capital UFOC 15, and that'll get you a discount from $40. I think it's $25 or $26. With a 35% discount, you get to see 10 people speaking. And let me tell you, folks, they blew us all away. And one of the lady with us here this evening that is a speaker or a presenter, my guest. I can tell you, I am so tired. I don't know what's happened to me. I can't talk tonight, folks. But anyhow, I'm working on it. So Miesha Johnston was a presenter at UFOCon 2015. She's here with us tonight. She's going to tell us a lot of fun things, a lot of amazing things, a lot of scary things, a lot of really cool stuff that she's working on. And Miesha, are you with us tonight?
Yes, I am.
There she is. How are you doing?
I'm just great, Lorien.
Oh, that's good. Hey, I also wanted, before we even get going here tonight, I wanted to say congratulations on having your own show over at Revolution Radio, and tell the folks where they can hear you starting your new show there. And what's the name of the show?
Okay, it's called Starseed Awakening, and it is every Saturday, Pacific Standard Time from 1 to 3. and it is in Studio A.
Studio A. Wonderful. That's Revolution Radio, folks. And you can get there at freedomslips.com. And if you didn't know it already, I'm also over there on Monday evenings from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific. And yeah, we just have a hootenanny over at Revolution Radio. It's lots of fun, but I do love IRN, I must say. They are my special, special place to be. And I love my chatters in my IRN. Speaking of that, I've got to get into the chat room. So Miesha, tell everybody who you are, what you're all about, what you're doing these days, and then we'll talk a little bit about UFOCon, okay?
Okay. All right.
Okay. Wonderful.
Well, I'm going to just tell you what I'm doing these days right now. All right. Well, I run support groups, facilitate support groups, and have since 1992. I did have a break in between, and I'll go through why I had an 8-year, almost 9-year break that I kind of got frightened off. But I'm back and as feisty as ever. And I have 2 groups that I have here at my home. One is for experiencers to talk about their own experience, and that's the first Thursday of every month. And the third Thursday of every month. The first Thursday of every month, we are working on our psychic abilities, because everybody has psychic abilities. They just forgot about it. And even Jesus says, greater things you will do than I have done. So, we all have these abilities, but we need to, it's a muscle. We have to practice. So in my groups, we have classes, and we do everything from psychometry to remote viewing and automatic writing and channeling and all kinds of things. So that's...
Hey, Miesha, are you guys bending spoons yet? Melinda's doing that.
Oh, I'm going to do that. That's a super idea. I have to talk to Melinda and ask her how, she goes about doing it, because I've never, ever done it before. So I'll have to see.
I think it's pretty cool. What a fun thing to be doing. I told her it's going to be bad if the 3 of us get together at a restaurant for contact in the desert. We may leave and all the silverware may be tied in knots.
Well, then I better learn, hadn't I?
I think we can all do it. I don't think there's any superpower involved, but I think it would be a lot of fun. So anyhow, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I could just see the 3 of us doing something like that together. It would be a blast.
It would be a blast. Yes, it would. And so then also I have my internet groups through Starseed Awakening and Contact Experience on Facebook. I have a group for people who can come in there. That's a private group. I can share their experiences in Facebook. Also, I have Starseed Awakening, which is for the people are waking up, but not yet confirmed that they are experiencers. So they just want to talk about the spiritual aspects of things. And then I have a real different kind of group, and that's the MK Ultra MILAB ritual abuse, super soldier targeted individual group. And that is also on Facebook, and that's those long names I just mentioned.
Now, Miesha, can people join these, since they're private groups, how do they join?
Well, if they ask to join, all I ask them to do is just write me a little information about their experience. If they're not experiencers in these fields, within the 2 private groups, then I can't really let them in, because it's anonymous kind of group, and people want to be in there and feel safe. So it is a closed group in that respect. But if they have had contact, or if they have had target individual or MILAB or anything, if they just write a short little paragraph and tell me about their experience, then I automatically just bring them on in. But the Starseed group is open for anybody.
Yes, wonderful. That's great.
And then from those, I have my internet Google Hangout groups. So I have 2 to 3 a week of those, and they vary in times, but usually always Sunday morning from 11 to 2 o'clock for the experiencers and people who feel like the contacts or star seeds, that type of thing. They would join that group, and all they have to do is I put events up through all 3 of those sites, and they just need to RSVP, and then they can, I send them a link to the Google Hangout. And then I have another group on Thursday, and it is a joint European and English group. So I have a translator that does the either German or whatever it is, if it's French, whatever, I have a translator come in so that we can find out what's going on in the other countries. And it's really amazing to find out all the interesting things that are different than what's going on here. Slightly different stuff, so it's great to hear it. And of course, England and everything. So I have it early so that all the European people can join us. And
that's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
It works out better that way. It's really the only time that they can. It's still at night for them at 8 o'clock, but it's much better at least. So, and then I have a group for MK Ultra sometime during the week, usually on a Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted to be part of, but I can't because I'm working on Wednesdays, so it just kind of doesn't work for me.
Make it at night. I've thought about doing it at night because Wednesday is my day off, and then I have an opportunity to go and get some things done on Wednesday.
Yeah, there you go. Well, no, you shouldn't change your group for me. I monitor it every once in a while. I pop in, and if I'm at work and I got a break, I'll just pop in and see what you guys are talking about. But yeah, it's really a very interesting group and very cool. So yeah, just want to let you know that I really appreciate you doing this for everyone because it's hard. I would love to do groups, but Miesha, I got a job. I got 3 things I'm doing besides the job. I got radio shows. You know how it is. It's just like, thank God I have no children.
Huge commitment. It is a total huge commitment. And, I even ask if anybody wants to donate, a few bucks. I would accept that because it takes up a lot of time to do all these groups.
It does. Yeah, it does. So, well, anyhow, so you're doing the yeoman's work, and I really appreciate you for that because, very few people are doing that these days. It's a lot of work, a lot of time, and I want to thank you for that because you really are putting yourself out there. So, the next thing I wanted to ask you about, and we're going to have a break here in a couple minutes, so I'm just going to throw this question out, and you could start if you want, but we'll get interrupted here. How was UFO Con for you, and did you enjoy yourself? Was it a lot of work? Were you exhausted when you got home? What was it for you? Because I've been telling people what kind of insanity I was going through, and I'll tell people the stories too, but it's been quite funny actually what happened to me. So anyhow, did you fare okay? Because I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys much.
Right. Well, I loved it. Having the table there, I was able to talk to so many people, and that's what I love to do is talk to the people, and I go to the support group in the morning. That was neat. I was able to go to one of them, and I just really had a great time. I thought the speakers were fabulous, just wonderful, and such down-to-earth people. And it's so cool to talk to people who are experiencers and really are first-handed experiencers, and they have the heart into it as well. Researchers are wonderful, but I just love our experiencers.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing about putting on these conferences that people don't understand is that we have a lot of very famous people in the community that are I think it's a break time for us. I'll have to get back to that after we come back, folks. So everybody stay with us. I've got Miesha Johnston with me here tonight, and it's going to be a fun evening. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
You're locked into Inception Radio Network, Superior, Wisconsin. Don't have a computer? Is your internet connection down? Don't worry. Use your trusty cell phone or landline and call into our listen line at 401-283-6700 to listen to the Inception Radio Network 24/7. Again, that call-in number is 401-283-6700. For the Inception Radio Network, I am MJ.
Hi, Inception Radio Network listeners. This is Amanda. Just a reminder that Inception Radio Network is on Twitter. Follow us at I_R_N and keep up to date about who's on tonight, what interviews they'll be doing, who's guest spotting, what topics they'll be covering. Tweet to us, tweet about us, retweet topics to your friends, and most importantly, never miss a great show again. That's I_R_N.
smartphone? If so, Inception Radio Network is the best app for you. Available on iTunes, Android, Samsung, and most other app stores. Just search Inception Radio Network. With the app you can listen live, check out podcasts of recent and past shows, view our videos, see what shows are coming up, who the guests are, and, via the chat room, send live questions to those guests. You know it makes sense. Check your app store now. Inception Radio Network. I'll see you there.
Hello, IRN listeners. This is MJ saying hello and sharing an awesome secret I discovered. It's called DreamNuage.com. Fresh, raw, organic ingredients are used to create all their products. They are made in very small batches to ensure quality and freshness. Handmade in the USA, each product is created with care and with the finest organic ingredients. There are no preservatives, dyes, or chemicals in any product. Stop by Dream Nuage and relax. That's DreamNuage.com. Simple, raw, organic.
Hello, I'm Pat Usford, inviting you to tune in to Epic Voyages every Monday evening at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Inception Radio Network. To find out more about Epic and how you can become a member, visit epicvoyagers.com.
EPIC is Extraordinary Phenomena Investigations Council, the forum for scholars, experts, and those fascinated by and involved in the study of ancient civilizations, conspiracies, cryptozoology, ETs, and UFOs, fringe science, the paranormal, and all manner of extraordinary phenomena. Please join EPIC as we examine the mysteries of the world and beyond on epicvoyagers.com. And for updates on the upcoming interactive video presentations, the latest news and discussion on the EPIC forum, as well as research, investigations, and membership opportunities. Epic Voyages program schedule is on the Inception Radio Network. Thank you for joining us.
Howdy, this is Joe Mars. I'm inviting you to tune in to Epic Voyages, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday nights, right here on Inception Radio Network. To find out more about Epic and how you can become a member, visit epicvoyagers.com. That's epicvoyagers.com.
Hello, everyone. Lorien Fenton here, host of the California MUFON Radio Show, asking if you'd like special access to exclusive and amazing information about UFOs, the paranormal, and all things unexplained. If you're nodding yes, then join IRN's Insider Club. As an Insider Club member, you'll get an all-access pass to premier Inception Radio Network content for only $4.99 a month. This includes live UFO and paranormal conferences, live streaming UFO skywatches, exclusive IRN radio and TV productions, and of course, paying radio with MJ and Ken Storch. So don't wait any longer. Visit InceptionRadioNetwork.com and click on Member Login to join IRN's Insider Club and get your VIP access today. Welcome back, everyone, to the California MUFON Radio Show. I'm your host, Lorien Fenton. We're here on Inception Radio Network. I hope you guys have got your app because... Not that it did me any good today, because I was sitting in the middle of the freeway with my phone off, but I do get my messages telling me I've got to get home and get to the show. So there you go. So I hope you got yours, and I hope it reminds you of all the shows coming up here at IRN. We've got some new shows coming along, and we've got some new shows that have started, and we got Truth Funders right before me now with my good friend Mark Schwartz, and just all kinds of great shows going on here at IRN. So I hope you got your app, and I hope you're listening. interesting. And let's see. Just quick note. I am trying to get to Contact in the Desert, folks. And so, the best way to help me out to get me there so I can do recordings for 3 days, probably a good 12 hours of shows. And I never did ask the studio if they got the International UFO Congress up. Let's see. Did you guys get International UFO Congress up when I did those 12 hours of broadcasting? And I think they were being recorded. I'm not sure, but they should be in the Insiders Club. I hope you guys are listening to the Insiders Club. I hope you become a member of the Insiders Club, because if I do make it to Contact in the Desert this year, you will be able to listen to all the people I'm going to be interviewing there. And I got to tell you guys something. This is very important. I want you all to know this. This is kind of what I was talking about right before the break. There are a lot of people out there that are researchers, as Miesha was saying right before the break, and they're wonderful people. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like a lot of them. Because my problem with them is this, and it is very similar to Miesha's too, I think. And it's not that I don't like them, it's just that I don't have the same kind of respect for them in the UFO community as I do the experiencers, because the problem is, folks, if you've not experienced it, then what makes you an expert to be talking about it? That's just my opinion. We're at a point now with the research with UFOs, if you haven't seen a craft, if you haven't had an alien encounter, if you haven't, if you just haven't had any kind of encounters at all, I wondered for over 20 years, I kept saying, I've never seen a craft. And I'll tell you, folks, if you haven't seen a craft and you are part of the community and you want to see a craft, just do what I did. That is, completely say you're going to quit. You're not going to listen to them anymore. You're not going to pay any attention. You're not going to do nothing for it. And believe me, they'll show up, because you won't be listening to all this if you weren't some kind of experiencer in some way. And you just have to make them show you something. I mean, it really comes down to that. I finally realized that after my, third or fourth or fifth or 10th encounter type of weirdness, that they showed me that craft because I had decided I didn't want to pay any more attention to them. So if you're listening to the show, you haven't seen anything, and you really want to, just say, hey, look, you guys, you've got to show me something, because it's that time in our history in the world right now where all the experiences are coming forward with what's been happening to them for years and years and years, and we've got to all start sharing this. It's got to become so commonplace that people just walk up to you in a grocery store and you start chatting and you say, oh, yeah, I'm a UFO investigator, or I listen to Art Bell, or I listen to Lorien Fenton, or I listen to all these people in the UFO field or whatever, and people just look at you and go, oh yeah, that's really cool, yeah, I had an experience, or I didn't, or that's very interesting, instead of looking at you like you deserve to be locked up. And that's what they did for years, right, Miesha?
Right.
Yeah, and it's really changing, isn't it?
It is. It's amazing. Even at my job, I will feel people out, and then all of a sudden, if I mention it, their ears perk up and they go, oh, really? Wow. That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. I finally, after years of hiding it from I have a client that I worked for 5 or 6 years now, and for years I never told them anything. And finally, about 6 months ago, I started slowly leaking information. Like, they asked me where I was going one weekend. I said, oh, I'm going to an international UFO convention. And they looked at me, and they didn't look at me like I'd lost my mind. They said, oh, that sounds very interesting. And then one of the couple said to me, a friend of ours has had a sighting. And I said, oh, really? I said, that's really cool. And this was even before my sighting, right? So I was like, oh, wow. I was very jealous that they had a friend who had a sighting. So anyhow, I mean, and then slowly I started telling them about different things, and now they know that's what I do. They know I'm a MUFON section director. They've even looked up MUFON on a website, and so it's very intriguing to me that people are more open to this. It just blows my mind. Anyhow, back to the whole thing about the researchers, and as you were saying, there's a lot of researchers out there, but I got to give them all kudos, you guys. It's not that I don't, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that I feel we're beyond that now. It's beyond talking about, different things. Now, I still love information about spacecraft. Mm-hmm. The people that are doing the research into the spacecraft, like Preston Dennett, David Marler, people who are doing actual scientific research, or they have stories about the craft, and they got pictures, they got video, or whatever. I think that's absolutely amazing, because I love seeing all the different crafts I can. That's that's really cool. But it's when people get up there and they start just talking about how the world would be after the aliens come, and all these. I'm just like, really? Why didn't you get a life, folks, and beg them to come visit you? Then you could talk about what it's really going to be like, because people like Miesha and my friend Melinda and Niara and all the people out there that I hang with that have had daily encounters. Oh my God, Kiwani Lapsaritis. There's another guy. I mean, he's got Bigfoots coming through his house on a regular basis. So, those are the people that need to be out there talking now, folks. Those are the real, those are the people I listen to. So anyhow, it's not that I don't like them. It's just that, if you're going to have a conference, bring people that are experiencers. Don't even bother with the other people anymore. I think we're way beyond it. So anyhow, and that's what I was going to say about me being at Contact. Miesha, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you here as we go on, but at Contact, I'm going to interview a lot of people that I know are experiencers. And it won't necessarily be all the people speaking at Contact in the Desert. So that's why it's going to be so extraordinary, because I have 3 people that are going to come on radio for the first time and tell about their experiences. And these stories are going to blow you guys away. So this is why it's important that I get these cases documented, because I'm not sure these people want to go on anymore after that. They certainly don't want to be on any UFO circuits. They're all working people, and they have a life, and they just don't want it to get upside down because of their stories about UFOs. But they're willing to come on the radio with me. So it's going to be very interesting to see what we can get out of these people. So anyhow, having said that, Miesha, why are you going to Contact in the Desert?
To meet other experiencers. And there are some astronauts I'd like to check out. And I've heard almost all the other researchers, and so I'm not sure that, there would be a whole lot new. So, but mostly for the camaraderie, to meet other experiencers, to see that, because you always find people who are there and they're just, starting to wake up to their experience, and they need to find other experiencers. So, maybe there'll be some local people here from Vegas as well, so that they can join my group here, things like that. That's kind of really what I'm there. I'm also going to be doing a radio show somehow or other from there. Because my
that's right. Yeah. Well, we'll set you up with that. We'll make sure it happens.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. And do you want to hang out in my booth with me? And we'll put up a big banner for you.
Oh, cool. That'd be super.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So everybody that's going to Contact that wants to meet Miesha Johnston, she'll be over at my booth, wherever that may be. It'll be the IRN booth, and it's going to be there somewhere. We're just going to make it happen, so we'll figure it all out. But anyhow, so Miesha, now that we've done business on air, live and in person, and I vented and gotten my opinion out about different people, which I probably is just going to get me in hot water as usual. If you people only knew how much hot water I get myself into by saying how I truly feel, you would all be laughing at me right now. But anyhow, so Miesha, tell people about some of your Contact experiences, and I want to go back to the alien encounters. Let's talk about those tonight more so than the MK Ultra stuff, okay?
Okay, that sounds good. Can I say one quick thing? I'm going
to
my radio show is going to have one of the researchers, but she's kind of a unique researcher. I like her a lot. Her name is Joanne Summerscale from Amash. And she's
wonderful.
That's who I'm going to be having on my show on the well, no, not that, but this would be the 9th, not during that, but anyway, I will have another researcher at that time. So, my experiences started when I was 3 years old with what I later found out. I have a picture on my website, and actually I put a link there to the website, starseedawakening.org. And if anybody wants to tune into my website, they can go to my story, and they can see the pictures of the ETs that I had these encounters with. Closest thing you can get to it anyway. But the first one is a BG. Now, the picture that's in there is a little old, and I found it several years ago in a book, and I said, gee, that looks a lot like mine. But in actuality, the one that really looks the most like it is the Ewoks on Star Wars. They really do look the most. They're more, because these little guys were squatty, very furry, and they had, but they also had these faces that kind of look like, and if you see the picture, you'll see it looks like hobbits or something like that, you know. So I don't know what dimension they were from, because I don't ever remember being taken on a ship. I do remember, however, them teaching me how to fly. At 3 years old, I remember flying with my arms spread straight out over the rooftops of my neighborhood. And they would come in a group of 3 and come in and take me and visit, take me, you know, for visits. And I loved them. They were kind of a real love connection for me, a real friendly group. And
now,
of course,
Miesha, can I interrupt for just a second? Were they kind of blue in color, or were they brown?
no, they were brown, dark brown, if I remember. No blue that I can remember. So
okay, because I'm just trying to remember. I don't think it was Whitley Strieber, but he described something very similar. They used to come and visit him. Do you remember that? Is that...
Never got to read his book, because I tell you something about me. I've tried to read so many books, and it's like my ETs won't let me. You know, I don't know why. I just can't read them. I fall asleep, or I get a headache, or, you know, so I don't know. I'm just not supposed to read them, I guess.
And I'll make a comment on that as well. And I think Miesha's absolutely right. I think that the ETs are not letting her do it, because I realized something this week about my whole experiences, Miesha, that's been bothering me for a very long time. I don't have a degree. I don't have any schooling behind me. I was never a big academic person at all. I hated math. I couldn't do it. Now I can do it very well. I don't know what happened. But what's very interesting about it is that I sometimes beat myself up, and this is true confessions, folks, just so you know, about my personality. I sometimes beat myself up for not having finished college and not done a lot of things that I did in life, because I feel like now I'm paying the price because no one listens to me, because I don't have a PhD after my name, and I don't have all the credentials that you would need to be taken seriously in the UFO community by the quote-unquote established UFO people that are in it. But something very strange happened this last week. I realized my experiences could not be discussed or given or pieced out to everybody so that they'd understand them well if I had a scientific background behind me, because I would have changed how it actually feels for me to have experienced these visions or experiences I've had with entities, or, you know, the lady coming through the wall, or the rabbit, or, you know, all the things that have happened in my life. I wouldn't be able to just sit there and tell people from my soul about those experiences and why I think they're happening to me and what the outcome may be, because I have no idea. These are all hypotheses on my part. But if I had a scientific background, I don't think I would have ever talked about them. I think I would have shut them down completely.
Yeah, that, you know, ditto for me. It's exactly the same for me. I was not academically. In fact, I was one of the people who was what you might call special needs, because I had a speech impediment and I was dyslexic.
Oh my gosh, Miesha, you know that I had a speech impediment as well.
Oh,
did
really?
you know that?
Oh no, I did not know that.
No, this is very odd, because now I'm starting to find out that a lot of people that are psychic and have had encounters have speech impediments. I was actually in speech therapy in the 2nd grade for almost a year.
I was in the 2nd grade. I because they tried to flunk me for the 1st grade, but my parents kind of pushed it, and so I got special help for my special needs.
Well, they didn't call it that back then, but yeah, I was very odd. Let's put it that way.
It's stupid. Yeah, I would know what the teacher said is she doesn't apply herself, so she needs extra help. And so, but
yeah, that's very interesting because, this is, I don't know what's going on here, but now that we're all talking, what I'm starting to hear more and more often is I had a speech impediment. I tell people all the time, it's just amazing that I'm on a radio show because I do have a speech impediment. It's hard for me to talk correctly like everybody else, and being on radio is just very difficult for me, but I do it anyhow, and it's becoming more and more natural as I do it more and more. But it's just, I always laugh because I thought this is the last place, Miesha, that I ever thought I would be, and I'm sure you're thinking the same thing.
100% I am. In fact, I listen back to it and I go, oh no, there it was. Oh no, there it was. I can pick up my little speech problems that I'll have, and but hopefully no one else picks it up, and if not, then it's okay. But that's one of the reasons. It's not the really reason. The reason is the ETs gave me the thrive at my education, which I'm going to be talking about later. But see, there I went later. But I will. I know how it feels to have what you might call learning disabilities and not having the correct teaching and the correct curriculum for kids who are having these, and they're special kids. They are super special. They are intelligent. They are smart. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about that quite a bit later on. So, anyhow,
I'm sorry I interrupted you again,
that's
Miesha.
Great.
And let's see, we were at the little critters coming into your room that aren't critters; they're Ewok-y looking things.
Ewok-y looking, Hobbit looking things, yes. And they were my invisible friends growing up, and so it was kind of a joke with the brothers and sisters, and would tease me about my invisible friends, and I said, yeah, I can fly, and you can't. So there, kind of thing. But it was wonderful. I loved them. I really felt connected, and because I was raised in a MK Ultra family with a parent that was himself mind controlled, and it was really helpful for me to have the ET contact. In fact, I found this with more people than not that have had ET experiences and also have been in the MK Ultra mind control, that it is what kept them sane. It is what kept them alive, and I do mean alive because there's so many of us feel like, we just cash it in. It's what we're going through. No one would help us, and no one can believe us. So why don't we just, go off a cliff? But our ETs keep us from doing that. Truly, that in my life, that's what it was for me. My ETs kept me. They made me feel like I was loved. And with the Ewoks, and then the next one was a willowy one. I called it the willowy one because it was taller, probably 5.5, 6 feet tall. Kind of abalone skin, more white than gray. Not quite the big bulbous head as the little grays, yet the little grays were with it. In fact, the little grays did the work where this being did mostly just the watching. And this being started with me when I was about 8 to 10 years old, and continued with me through all into my puberty and just a little bit after that, and then went away, and I never really saw that being again. I kind of think that we have galactic families, and we're from elsewhere. We're star seeds, and so I believe that your different galactic families will pick particular times to come in and assist you and help you in your life, and that's your connection. Now I don't know they have a connection with the little Ewok guys, but they certainly were helpful for me. Whether they were or they were sent by maybe my Syrian family or my Orion family. Also, I've had connections, also a very strong connection with the Pleiadian as well. Which I've seen, the human Pleiadian female is what I've had the interaction with. But the willowy one was there through my childhood and into my puberty. And as I said, my very first, what I thought was a very scary experience, because before then, I just remember seeing the deers at the window. And to me, it was deers. They'd come to the window. I'd see the light. It was time to go. I just knew it. And these deers, of course, were, I would imagine they were grays. I don't think it was the woolly one. It was the 3 grays that were standing at the window. And I also remember being taken through the window. And I later on, as an adult, I asked a question one time when I was taken through a window, where my sons actually saw me taken through a window. And I said, "How did you take me through a window?" And they said, "We took you through telepathically." Of course, everyone knows they only communicate telepathically. Said, "We took you through we took you through a time when there was no window there." So that explains a lot to me when I consider all the different times where I feel like I've gone through a wall or gone through the ceiling and things like that, that they are time travelers in their own aspect, that they can actually take you through a time when there wasn't anything there. Let me see. I also, at 16 years old, I was having kind of a scary experience, like I was starting to mention. And it was the first time I'd ever had any kind of anything done to my private areas, so I was like really freaked. And the willowy one leaned over and looked. It was at the top of my head, and it just leaned its head over and looked into my eyes and said, "Do not worry, we will not hurt you. This is necessary to prepare you for the hybrid program." Well, at the time, I had no idea what a hybrid program is. I later did find out what a hybrid program was. So I'll probably, be talking a little bit about that. I also had...
Hey, Miesha, when they said hybrid program, did they put a picture in your mind of it, or did they actually use that word when they talked to you telepathically?
No. It's a good thing you mentioned that, because this is how they do the telepathic messages. Right. It is words that come into your head. It's whole thoughts, complete thoughts. And so you get, I'll give you for instance. I was
You know what, Miesha? I tell you what, we're going to hit our next break.
Oh, okay.
So keep that thought, because I want to hear this when you get back. When we get back, this will be very interesting. So, folks, stay with us. Miesha's going to tell us how the aliens communicate with us, and this is going to be a great example for you, because the minute she said that, I went, "Oh no, they're not talking words here, folks." So we got to drill down and find out what they actually did to her. So here we go. So stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
You're locked into Inception Radio Network, Superior, Wisconsin. Don't have a computer? Is your internet connection down? Don't worry. Use your trusty cell phone or landline and call into our listen line at 401-283-6700 to listen to the Inception Radio Network 24/7. Again, that call-in number is 401-283-6700. For the Inception Radio Network, I am MJ.
Are you a fan of Inception Radio Network? Do you reckon it's the best alternative talk radio station on the planet? Well, if you do, head to facebook.com/Inception Radio Network and like the page. Tell your friends, spread the word, and keep listening to the best.
Hello, IRN listeners. This is MJ saying hello and sharing an awesome secret I discovered. It's called DreamNuage.com. Fresh, raw, organic ingredients are used to create all their products. They are made in very small batches to ensure quality and freshness. Handmade in the USA, Each product is created with care and with the finest organic ingredients. There are no preservatives, dyes, or chemicals in any product. Stop by Dream Nuage and relax. That's DreamNuage.com. Simple, raw, organic.
Hello, I'm Pat Usford, inviting you to tune in to Epic Voyages every Monday evening at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Inception Radio Network. To find out more about Epic and how you can become a member, visit epicvoyagers.com.
EPIC is Extraordinary Phenomena Investigations Council, the forum for scholars, experts, and those fascinated by and involved in the study of ancient civilizations, conspiracies, cryptozoology, ETs, and UFOs, fringe science, the paranormal, and all manner of extraordinary phenomena. Please join EPIC as we examine the mysteries of the world and beyond on epicvoyagers.com. And for updates on the upcoming interactive video presentations, the latest news and discussion on the EPIC forum, as well as research, investigations, and membership opportunities. Epic Voyages program schedule is on the Inception Radio Network. Thank you for joining us.
Howdy, this is Joe Mars. I'm inviting you to tune in to Epic Voyages, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday nights, right here on Inception Radio Network. To find out more about Epic and how you can become a member, visit epicvoyagers.com. That's epicvoyagers.com.
Hello, everyone. Lorien Fenton here, host of the California MUFON Radio Show, asking if you'd like special access to exclusive and amazing information about UFOs, the paranormal, and all things unexplained. If you're nodding yes, then join IRN's Insider Club. As an Insider Club member, you'll get an all-access pass to premier Inception Radio Network content for only $4.99 a month. This includes live UFO and paranormal conferences, live streaming UFO skywatches, exclusive IRN radio and TV productions, and of course, paying radio with MJ and Ken Storch. So don't wait any longer. Visit InceptionRadioNetwork.com and click on Member Login to join IRN's Insider Club and get your VIP access today. Welcome back, everyone, to the California MUFON Radio Show. I'm your host, Lorien Fenton. Really happy you're all here with me. You're still here with me tonight. This is wonderful. And Miesha Johnston is also with us, and I cut her off right before the break. And Miesha, what were you going to say about how they communicate?
Okay, well, they are telepathic beings, but they're actually more than telepathic. And this goes for every race that I've ever had interaction with, which would mean I don't know about the Greys because I've not had interaction with messages with them. But the willowy one, which is a very tall, whitish gray, the reptilian one that I'm going to talk about later, that's Ayano, and of course the female Pleiadian that I encountered. So that's they all seem to do it the same way. So I'm going to give you a story, or maybe even two, that explain to you how it kind of works. So we're going to jump ahead to when I was in the hybrid program, and it was my first child that they presented to me. And it was a very scrawny, little, tiny, skinny child with this big bulbous head, and it kind of was limp in my arms. And when they put it in my arms, and this was a female, I would imagine. I can't tell you that for sure. I just took that it was a female in the nursery, and she handed it to me. And when she did, I immediately connected and bonded with it and knew it was my child. And she did a telepathic method that this is a success, but also at the same time, this message of this is a success comes in, then I'm getting a whole scenario of pictures, of videos in my mind, basically, of what other people experienced. Like I saw women drop the children. I saw women scream and yell and put their hands up and say, I'm not touching it. I saw, they showed me a picture of even a man backing away from it. And so that was a success because I nurtured the child right away, the baby right away. They showed me all the people who it hadn't been a success, and they were very pleased that it was a success with me. So that was one of the situations. Another time, let me see. I had one in my mind.
Well, I want to say something, and maybe it'll come to you while we're talking. Why do you think they showed you the failures? Do you think they're just trying to thank you, or is that their way of thanking you? Isn't that weird?
It is. It's they're showing me the fact that you accepted the child, and look at all these other people. That's why we're happy and it's a success. I mean, I can't say that's exactly the reason why, but I would imagine that was the reason.
I would think so too. It's just, boy, isn't that an odd way of showing gratitude, though, huh?
Yeah, well, I guess it is. I guess it is. Yeah, but they always, everything seems to come in pictures. Another time when I was, this is kind of that's too long of a one. I can't really go into that one because that's a good long 10 minutes. So,
no, that's okay. If you'd like to, no problem. I'm very curious about how they do this because, I hope my audience is as well. I believe they are, and they've got lots of questions for you for the last half hour too. So we got lots of time, Miesha. So go ahead, tell us this long, involved tale because I'm curious.
Okay, well. This was human, I would imagine, I don't know, Pleiadian or Syrian, but they actually, I was in bed. The next thing I know, I'm standing in this nowhere. It's no place. That's the only way I can explain it. It's in the middle of nothing. It's like whiteness, and there's nothing there except for a man and a woman. And the three of us standing there, and they told us telepathically, they said, now we are going to, this is to test you, basically, but this is, again, the whole idea. This is to test you about, concentrate here. Oh, the word is escaped me all of a sudden. This is to test you about manifestation. There we go. About manifestation and about how it is here. So, anyway, the first person was me that they asked, and they said, we'd like you to imagine something that you like or something that you've been thinking about. And I had just been to the pool a couple of days before and loved to get my dolphin on. So at that very moment, that's what I thought. And then I immediately thought, but no ocean. And immediately I was swimming around in a lake. Now, how in the world am I swimming around a lake? But I was feeling the water and swimming around in the lake. The next one was a woman who, she says, I would like to know I would like to see colors like I've never seen before, like a rainbow. And at that very second, now the lake was gone, by the way, and I was back right beside the people. And then all of a sudden, all of us are seeing this beautiful rainbow with colors like I've never seen before. So absolutely beautiful. And then it was gone. And then the man said, well, I haven't had a very good week, and I'm not really sure what I'm thinking and what I want to think about. And right at that very moment he did, up jumped this horrible-looking, monster-looking creature. It was like, just creepy looking, a little bit of a snake, a little bit of I don't know what. It was a two-headed thing. It was very ugly, and it was just creepy looking. And immediately it went down, and they said, beloveds, do you understand? You must clear away the fear before you come on this side, because when you are here, you manifest immediately, instantly. So I thought that was pretty amazing, and it told me a lot, and it helped me understand why so much of all of my stuff had to come up. I had to work on it. I had to get it up and out and forgive everybody, including the government, my father, any ETs that harm me, anything, So we have to clear away the fear so that we can go into a higher consciousness. And
that's absolutely true. It's amazing you said that, because I realized after my whole, mind control experience or whatever propelled me into becoming part of our family that we've all created here, that if I didn't forgive myself for all the things I've done and forgive the people that have done things to me, I would never evolve off this planet at all. And I think that's number one for everybody to understand. It's very important to these other entities, isn't it, Miesha?
Oh, it's very important to them. We have to first love ourselves and forgive ourselves. And then that was a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. And then have to forgive. And, it's a different kind of thing. Maybe it's hard to love these people, but you have to forgive them. And, as you love yourself, you can love them. It's because we're all one.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And what I think another message to what you experienced with these entities and those other two people in the room. By the way, have you ever seen those two people again in the room with you?
No.
Oh, okay. They're just total strangers, right?
Total strangers. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Well,
just with me, because I think these are classes that we go through. Because I remember going through other classes, which I'll share as well.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to make one last observation on that, is that the place of love, some of us have been taken there, some of us have felt it, some of us have seen it. I'm not necessarily sure I get to go there next time, because I still have some forgiving to do and some, forgiving of things I've done. And there, it's really hard. But see, I'm aware of that now, and so are you. And I think it's hard, for a lot of people to understand how important forgiveness and love are on this planet. I think they're truly the two main important ingredients besides getting rid of the fear. Once you get rid of the fear, the other two just come along.
They do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very interesting how that works, because I remember the day I decided that I don't care if they kill me. I wasn't afraid anymore, and I got my protection. It all happened kind of simultaneously. I went to bed, and I think I cried for a good day over some things that I have done, and to this day, that was the best cry, the best forgiving time I've ever had in my entire life, and I felt completely cleansed when I got through with it. And the love connection that I've had with these other beings, or whatever they are, has just grown stronger and stronger. I was just telling my mom last night that she's don't you love it, Miesha? Your 80-something old, family members, if you have any still alive, they always call you to tell you, oh, so-and-so died this week, so-and-so died. It's all I ever hear from her now is like, everybody's dying around me. And I said, Mom, it's the most important thing is to remember that there's something after this. And I've seen it. And I know if you died tomorrow, I would be happy for you, because, you'd be in a place that's better than this. So, if you get to that point where there's a place better than this, and you're happy for people when they go over, then, I think you're one step away from it, personally.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Anyhow, so I'm sorry, I interrupted you again to go down another path. So you went to the place of the manifestation, which is very cool. Yeah. So what happened after that?
Okay, so this was, I guess I could revert back to when I was a young person, a teenager. I'll give you a couple of experiences. One was in Idaho, and I was, say, probably about in my teens, probably 16 or 17. And I went to bed. The next thing I know, I'm standing with somebody behind me, and I look above me. And I can't really look that well, because you can only look with your eyes. You can't move your head. You're in a paralysis that you're really only able to move your eyes. So I looked up as much as I could, and I saw above me a UFO. And when you were talking about saucers and stuff, that I remembered, oh yeah, right, that definitely was a saucer. It was, and it had lights that were rotating in opposite directions, kind of like a top, I guess. I don't know what you. And then behind me were these tall beings. Now, I believe this was my first interaction with what is now came into my life later as a reptilian. But once on that's all I remembered. Then the next thing I remember, I'm on the ship, and this is kind of a weird one, but I'm laying there, and there's some little grays around me. There's always grays doing the manual labor kind of thing and doing the experimentation type of thing. But I was laying there, and I saw these three cloaked figures, and I said, I instantly knew one. And in fact, not only did I know him, but I had this love, this really emotional feeling, and a familiarity of him. And so I asked, I said, you, I know you. And it may have startled him, I don't know, but I said, because they just kind of stood there, didn't move, and I couldn't see other than just the cloak, because they were kind of in, it wasn't a dark, but they were in the side of the area where I really couldn't see. It was slightly dark, but it wasn't dark. So anyway, I asked him I says, please, I know you, show me yourself. And one stepped forward and dropped his cloak, and there was a reptilian. And it was the reptilian that showed up later in my life. I now realized I did not know that, because I was really freaked out, because personally, I hate snakes, lizards, and all of those things. So when I saw it, I freaked and didn't like it. And they could tell I wasn't really happy with it, because I thought, how could I have this feeling towards that? And then I was asleep, and that was the last thing I remembered. And I actually had a weird experience, and it's such a long story, so I'm just going to paraphrase it and say this particular experience was one of my puberty experiences, and there was more gynecological examinations and stuff. And because I saw that being, because I had the connection of the love and maybe even a little bit of sexuality that appeared. I mean, it's hard to admit that kind of feeling comes on you when you're a virgin, but that happens.
Well, Miesha, I'm going to stop you now, because this is a very important piece for me, and I hope it is for other people too. What I have discovered, and I'm sure you probably know by now, is that they have the ability to make you become sexually aroused whenever they feel like it. And is that true for you? Do you know that they do that?
Well, it's a sexual arousement, but it's more of a kundalini kind of thing versus
exactly. But they control it. I'm not sure we're in control of it at all. I don't think we ever are. I think that once we get around them, if they want us to fall in love with them, quote unquote, sexually, they can make it happen in a heartbeat. A mind thought.
Yeah. Well, that's a big possibility. Absolutely, because yes, but they're not going to have you fall in love with them if there's not already a galactic connection to you. Because
now that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that, but that's So that's how you felt about this guy.
Oh, without a doubt. And like I said, because I was a virgin, it was all so strange to me. So I got to tell you, I felt that night that I had been violated. I thought I had been violated. And in my life, I went through the rest of the years thinking that night I was kidnapped by a truck driver. Okay, traveler, a truck driver. That's what I thought it was. I saw a woman who was in a white, what I thought was a nurse's uniform. She had big black eyes and a page boy black hair. That was also part of this experience. So I had thought that the woman took me from my house and turned me over to the traveler, and that I had been raped. So that was the feeling I had gotten, because I had some kind of a gynecological or a sexual experience. I can't tell you for sure if I had. I don't think it was. It was just that whole feeling and stuff. So anyway, I went through my life thinking that had happened to me. And later on, when I did meet Ayano, which I probably ought to tell you because, I might run out of time. But in 1989, after I'd had tremendous amount of experience with MILAB experience with some negative reptilians and some not so positive grays, some tall grays that were not positive, and they would come and get me and take me to the underground bases. Well, I was pretty much, I was really having a terrible time, and it had gone on for years, and at least 4 years, if not longer. And so I actually was praying for help because I was very religious at that time. And I was praying for help, and I believe, sent help. Or he came on his own. All of a sudden there was a being in my room that was of energy. And I again recognized this, no kind of sexual energy, but I recognized the energy, and I ended up going with this energy, several experiences. And then one night when I truly wanted to know what this energy was, because I said, I know you are not this energy. Because at one time I had been shown this beautiful man, kind of a goddess-looking, blonde, Pleiadian, gorgeous person. I don't know if it was or not. I don't know if it was him or not. I believe what it was at that time, it was more pleasant for me to see that than it was to see what he was, because I was still very phobic and terrified of snakes and stuff, which I have a reason why, and that was when I was a child and growing up, and then in my teenage years and the MK Ultra stuff, I was used in rituals, and they use snakes in the ritual things. So that's a real ugly experience, a really ugly experience, but I found out about it. And that is why I had such a phobia about snakes. And I believe part of the thing I was supposed to meet Ayana was to get through those fears and those phobias, because had I never met him and saw that there was positive beings, I would have still felt like all reptilians, snakes, reptiles are evil, bad, and terrible. So anyway, I apologize if I digressed and went back, but I'll get back to, so I asked him, I said, I know you are not this energy, and I know you're not that blonde being. So I'm ready to know who you are. I'm ready to know. And he telepathically, this was very clear. He said to me, are you sure you're ready? And I said, yes, I'm sure I'm ready. Are you absolutely sure you're ready? I said, I'm sure I'm ready. And so right there in front of me, it was, it kind of changed. But I believe that they have the ability to make you see what they want to see. It isn't that they're shapeshifting. I really don't believe he's shapeshifter. I'd bet my life on it. It wasn't a shapeshifter. I
agree with you on that. Absolutely. They let you see what they want you to see. Anyhow, go ahead.
So there he was standing in front of me. He was like about 7.5 feet tall. He was green, kind of an avocado green. He had these bright, beautiful gold eyes. And I was locked into the eyes, so I didn't really notice as much on the face that he looked more, he looked like a kind of like a serpent. He had not really like a serpent, but he looked like a lizard serpent kind of being. But I was locked into the eyes, and then I saw that he had a face. He had a face. Of course, he had a face, but he had this kind of a ridge on the top of his forehead and went back. He didn't show his teeth at all to me, and I thought that was very nice of him, because I wouldn't want to have seen him at that time. So he just kind of had this little smile. I looked down his body, and then in the front he had what I would call like a tortoise shell on his chest. That's what it kind of looked like. But later I found out, because I physically touched him many times, that it is organic. It's part of their body. It might be for protection, and I think it is, but it is organic. And then I kept going down and saw that he had, two legs and 2 arms, and had long fingers. He had 3 fingers and 1 thumb with claws on them, which was a little bit apprehensive on that. And then I looked and I saw his feet were the same way. So that was the first time I saw him, and I could feel this unconditional love that I'd always felt from him. So it wasn't hard for me to understand that it was okay, that I was safe, and he would not ever do me any harm. So that gives you the idea. Now, the reason why I wanted to say that is, tell you about that is because I believe, this is for me, my belief is, and it is because of my experiences. But I had one of my regressions. I had like 17 regressions and all kinds of some therapy work as well to get the answers. And but during a regression with Barbara Lamb, it was the first time I'd ever had a regression about that a reptilian came out. And long story short, it was a past life. She said, what are you wearing on your feet? I said, my feet have claws on them. I'm green. I look at it, and there I am. I'm a reptilian.
I'm sorry. It's like when you need a pedicure really bad at that point, right?
Yeah, right. So I'm a reptilian, and there in the room with me is Ayano. He was my spouse. He was my husband. So... And he's not only been that time, but I also found out he's been a couple more times. I was also some kind of I don't know what I was. I was on the bridge of a ship, and he was also part of the officers on the ship. I was an officer on the ship, and he was also. So that was another lifetime. So. I have a galactic connection with him, and he came to help me, and he helped me in so many ways from my experiences with the MILAB experiences. And in fact, there was one particular time that he came when I was in a ritualistic kind of ceremony, and I have not been able to figure out where it was. I seemed like I was much younger, so... it was either when I had my missing 8 months in either Seattle or my missing 8 months in San Francisco. But, or it even could have been Area 51. I have really no idea, but I don't think it was that. But I was in a ritual ceremony, and I believe I was stated to be one of the executed because I'd already seen sacrifices from other people, women, and 1 child. And so I was standing in the line that was, I believe, to go. And all of a sudden, here comes this cloaked being, and he walks, and he looks at, there's some kind of interaction. Because we are experiencers, we have that ability to telepathically hear what's going on. Sometimes if it's directed to us, we understand it, but if it's not directed to, we still know there's something telepathically going on. And I knew there was an interaction going on between the reptilian that was standing there and a reptilian myself. Incidentally, there were humans here as well in this.
Wow. Okay. Now I do have to stop you because I can't believe we've already hit the next break. Yeah. So this is our final break, folks. So we'll be back, and we'll have questions from the chat room as well. And Miesha's going to tell us about her school, and we'll continue about the reptilians and their junk. We'll be right back.
You're locked into Inception Radio Network, Superior, Wisconsin. Don't have a computer? Is your internet connection down? Don't worry. Use your trusty cell phone or landline and call into our listen line at 401-283-6700 to listen to the Inception Radio Network 24/7. Again, that call-in number is 401-283-6700. For the Inception Radio Network, I am MJ.
Hello, IRN listeners. This is MJ saying hello and sharing an awesome secret I discovered. It's called DreamNuage.com. Fresh, raw, organic ingredients are used to create all their products. They are made in very small batches to ensure quality and freshness. Handmade in the USA, Each product is created with care and with the finest organic ingredients. There are no preservatives, dyes, or chemicals in any product. Stop by Dream Nuage and relax. That's DREAMNUAGE.com. Simple, raw, organic.
Do you have a smartphone? If so, Inception Radio Network is the best app for you. Available on iTunes, Android, Samsung, and most other app stores. Just search Inception Radio Network. With the app, you can listen live, check out podcasts of recent and past shows, view our videos, see what shows are coming up, who the guests are, and, via the chat room, send live questions to those guests. You know it makes sense. Check your app store now. Inception Radio Network. I'll see you there.
Are you looking for a cure for boredom? Never worry. IRN's new interactive website introduces a number of ways to pass time while you listen to your favorite show. Choose anything from the IRN chat lounge, the game lounge, video lounge, or the mood lounge. These fun, exciting features let you chat in real time with fellow listeners, view live skywatches, play daily posted online games, or pick a show based on topic. The choices are endless. Use your time wisely, keeping it all on IRN.
Hello, everyone. Lorien Fenton here, host of the California MUFON Radio Show, asking if you'd like special access to exclusive and amazing information about UFOs, the paranormal, and all things unexplained. If you're nodding yes, then join IRN's Insider Club. As an Insider Club member, you'll get an all-access pass to premier Inception Radio Network content for only $4.99 a month. This includes live UFO and paranormal conferences, live streaming UFO skywatches, exclusive IRN radio and TV productions, and of course, paying radio with MJ and Ken Storch. So don't wait any longer. Visit InceptionRadioNetwork.com and click on Member Login to join IRN's Insider Club and get your VIP access today.
Hello, I'm Pat Usford, inviting you to tune in to Epic Voyages every Monday evening at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Inception Radio Network. To find out more about Epic and how you can become a member, visit epicvoyagers.com.
EPIC is Extraordinary Phenomena Investigations Council, the forum for scholars, experts, and those fascinated by and involved in the study of ancient civilizations, conspiracies, cryptozoology, ETs, and UFOs, fringe science, the paranormal, and all manner of extraordinary phenomena. Please join EPIC as we examine the mysteries of the world and beyond on epicvoyagers.com. And for updates on the upcoming interactive video presentations, the latest news and discussion on the EPIC forum, as well as research, investigations, and membership opportunities.
Epic Voyages program schedule is on the Inception Radio Network. Thank you for joining us.
Howdy, this is Joe Mars. I'm inviting you to tune in to Epic Voyages, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday nights, right here on Inception Radio Network. To find out more about Epic and how you can become a member, visit epicvoyagers.com. That's epicvoyagers.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't realize I didn't hear the countdown. Isn't that funny? I'm hearing all kinds of little noises. I think they're coming from Miesha, which is kind of cute because I think they're little alien voices going. Anyhow, so welcome back to the California MUFON Radio Show. I'm your host, Lorien Fenton. We're here with Miesha Johnston, a very good friend of mine. She's turned into an absolutely wonderful supporter of me, and I'm a great supporter of hers, I hope. And we just have a great time together whenever we're around each other. It's like, long-lost sisters somewhere there. I don't know what it is. But the day I met Melinda, the day I met Miesha, and the day I met Niara, I felt like I had found my family. It was just so bizarre. I can't even explain it. How do you feel about that, Miesha?
Absolutely. I felt like we were, like the Yayas sisters.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so crazy. I never felt that kind of connection with my own family, which is so, I hate to say that, folks. It's so sad that we have to, find each other this way. But, we did. We're hopefully changing the paradigms about how people think about alien contact and about other types of contact and other things that are going on this planet. So there we are. Okay, well, we got a lot to talk about. Miesha I just cut her off about this whole thing about her going into a past life and seeing her green feet who needed a manicure pedicure type of experience. And then she found out she was green and that she was actually the mate of what is his name again? I'm sorry, Miesha.
It's Ayano.
Ayano, yes. And then, so tell us a little bit more about that, and then we're going to move on to the next topic at hand, which is questions from the chat room. So everybody get your questions going. I've got a couple of doozies for Miesha.
Okay, well, there's not a whole lot more except that when I was having so much problems after Melinda and I were on Art Bell's show and we'd been at conferences and stuff, and we were writing a book about the whole MK Ultra things, which this is not a show really going into that, but there had been attempts on my life, and couple of times there had been threats on my life, threats to my family. We'd been kidnapped. Right after we were on the Art Bell show, we'd been kidnapped and taken to an underground base where, I'll just tell you real quick, I woke up and I was sitting on a table. There was this guy in a military uniform. He's got all the ribbons and bows, he's some kind of a lieutenant, captain, colonel, whatever. And he's screaming and cussing me out. And he says, "This is not going to bring you any happiness." Now, I got to tell you, I heard this phrase, "If this is not going to bring you any happiness," from 3 individuals that had threatened me. And this was, once again, he said, "And to bring the point home to you, I want you to meet somebody." Well, he left, and in walked in this big, ugly reptilian who was quite different than I'd ever seen. He looked more like a dragon. He had little tufts, like maybe were his wings or something in his back. He leaned down, looked in my eyes, and put a vision in my eyes of, once again, her harming my family. It's a whole story, which actually, if they want to go on my website, I do have this part of the story there if they want to read it. But, and then she had the same thing happen to her. She had an encounter very ugly with a reptilian as well. So,
I just want to say one thing before we move off of this, didn't Melinda kick it or punch it? If I remember correctly in the story, Melinda's kicking and punching this reptilian thing.
Oh, I did not know. I just know that when the vision was put in my head, I was enough together that I thought, I don't hear screaming and stuff like I should be hearing from what I'm seeing in my head. And I snapped out of it. And when I did, the reptilian broke its graze and walked out of the room. So, it kind of gives you a good feeling that you actually have some power over this situation.
Wow.
At least to stop it. Because it was just a holographic image he was putting in my head, doing some kind of a mind melt thing. But, that kind of fills that out. But Ayano had helped me many times. And in fact, after that, I had decided, after another couple more threats, I decided, and the last one where I ran off the road with my car, I had decided to quit. Actually, I decided to check out. I decided to commit suicide. And Ayano basically took me up to a ship. And I stood in front of a council of all types of different ETs. Some I recognized the types, some I did not. And I said, I can't stay here anymore. Please let me come home. And they telepathically, all of them were, whenever they spoke, it was kind of like a light went on behind them. Then they telepathically spoke to me and said, "But beloved, do you not remember this is your mission? You asked for this mission. So you must complete it." So, but we can't, long story short, they told me that I whined a little bit more, and they said, what we can do is let you cancel your contracts. So that is indeed what I did. I canceled all my contracts, so no more physical contacts have I had, whether they were from MILAB or ET. But I still am connected and hear and connected astrally. I connect with hybrids, and I'm actually speak several hybrid languages with them in the last year and a half. And so I'm very connected to them, getting a lot of messages that way. And basically it's channeling, but it's star language. And so I'm very connected to them anyway, but I don't get to physically see Ayano. And it breaks my heart sometimes, because I had to get out of all the ugly stuff. I had to lose my connection with my willowy one, Ayano, and any other ETs. But someday I will see them again.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get that. That makes a lot of sense, Miesha. That's good, because, it's hard to be here, isn't it? It's just hard enough as it is. And then to have a connection with an extra dimensional being that is, you're having a relationship, it's very difficult. I know.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it, but I totally understand.
Yeah, the MILAB stuff is the most difficult. That's the most, dealing with the humans that, how can they hate their own people? But they do. They treat us like they hate us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm going to change gears here, because I really want you to give you some time. And if we don't get to all the questions tonight, folks, I'm really sorry about that. But I want Miesha to be able to talk for a good 5 or 10 minutes, whatever she chooses, about her school that she's starting. So why don't you tell people about that, Miesha, and what you're doing to, get it started?
Okay. Well, it's Thrive at My Education. And Thrive School is a special school. We're going to provide a school to nurture and educate children from kindergarten through 12th grade, also known as the Crystal Children, Indigo Children, Rainbow Children, who we have absolutely, I have seen this over and over and over again, that I know it's absolutely true, that they are special children who have been labeled with special needs. They are like ADD, ADHD, ODD, dyslexia, Asperger's, autism. I mean, there's a direct connection to children who have had our star seeds or the ET contacts, especially with the autism, that there's a connection to it. And these kids have really, as far as we're concerned, have been let down by the school system. They learn differently. I mean, we're talking savants here. These children are so brilliant in so many different ways. That's, I believe, why some of the kids are like, for instance, Asperger's and autistic, because if you are so brilliant that you choose not to participate in this earth, even though you're stuck here, and participate only in the way you want. So let's say you're absolute genius in math, but the rest of it, the social part, you don't choose to participate, then, that's pretty darn smart to be able to live a life and not have to worry about that. But it is hard for them. It's hard for their parents, probably more hard for it's hard for both of them. So these children are gifted, and in all of those different ways that we've seen. And they, may not have done that great in school, but when you give them an IQ test or the different things that they've excelled in, it's quite amazing that they are. They also learn differently. So they need to have teachers who know how to do this. And so what I am gathering up is teachers who have always thought outside of the box. Teachers that have always got in trouble with their school boards and such, because they have thought outside of the box. And teachers who have done special ed, and have taught speech impediments or deaf children and things like that. So these are the kind of teachers that we're going to have. And we are on the ground floor. We actually got it started last year, and we put in for our nonprofit status. We're still working on the paperwork because it's a really tedious thing, because they want everything done perfectly so that we can get that nonprofit status. We're also working on the funding, and currently I'm working right now on I'm asking if there's anybody out there who knows how to make videos, who can assist me and stuff. I'm putting together videos of interviews with children that talk about how it is to live, be this kind of, a gifted child and have to go to school and such. So I have interviews, and I'm going to be talking to teachers and such, and we're going to be having a video for GoFundMe, and we're going to be raising money that way. We're also looking for people who want to get involved and be part of it, and teachers, nurses, everyone. I have a school all picked out, this place, it's the most fabulous place, because I also have people that know how to farm and grow non-GMO foods and gluten-free diets, and teach and feed the kids these gluten-free diets and non-GMO foods instead of all the crap that they feed kids at school. So it is a place that they can ride horses, they can play in the playground. They also have 17 rooms for classes and such. So all of these, we're trusting that the universe is going to provide this, and it is going to come into fruition. So it's very, very near and dear to my heart. We also have, we're going to be having an art gallery for the experiencers to sell their own art. And then, the group, the students, and band classes, music classes, video making classes, music classes, because these kids are getting fabulous music coming through. They're getting downloads from the ETs. They're getting downloads about video. So you've got a lot of teenagers out there that are just amazing. They know what they can do so much. And also a bookstore so that people can sell their books then when they write them, which I'm working on my own book. It's a very slow, tedious thing, because I know the feeling. Broke my wrist a few months ago, really badly, and so it's kind of now slowed me down. But and hopefully at some point a publishing company as well. So we have huge plans for this, and it's here going to be in Nevada, because I work at a store, and every time I turn around, another person comes in with an autistic, Asperger's, or dyslexic child, and they're seeking places for them to go to school, because the school system and the curriculum has really failed them. So that is my very, very, very important mission that they have most recently put me on. The ETs, actually. And I will tell you, Ayano is one of that group that has brought this whole thing into my mind for fruition to do this. So,
well, that is amazing. And I got to say, there's a woman that's been on this radio show that I think it's this radio show, maybe not, but it's Dr. Diane Hennessy Powell. You know about her, don't you?
No, I don't.
Okay, I want you to find her. I'll talk to you about it at another point, but she is the woman who has realized that the autistic children are telepathic.
Yes, they are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially the ones that are nonverbal. They are totally telepathic. And she's proven it in videos, and she can't get funding, and no one will listen to her. And, it's just, she's an amazing woman, and I'll get you in touch with her. So,
yes. And I recently made a connection with a woman from Grant a Gift Autism Foundation, and so we're going to be working together as well here in Vegas.
Oh, great. That's I'm so thrilled, Miesha. I tell everybody about your school, and I just hope that everything works out really well for you. I'm sure it will. Okay. Now we've got about 8 or 9 minutes left in the show. So let's see if we can get to questions.
Okay.
The first question is from Durhuff in the chat room. He says, Lorien, is Miesha familiar with the big alien slide reveal in Mexico City yesterday. If so, has she seen the photos? Does she have an opinion? If not, does she prefer pepperoni or plain pizza?
Oh, I prefer plain pizza because I did not see it. I just have so much going on. I rarely get a chance to go just look any place.
Yeah, I don't even know what he's talking about myself. So I'm just going to, after we get off the show tonight, I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to look it up after the show. And I'm sorry, Miesha, I'm talking over you because I don't think you can hear me very well when I do start to cut in. There might be a lag. So I'm sorry if I am cutting over you, my dear. And, okay, next question is also from Durhuff. Lorien, would you ask Miesha if she's read Dan Sherman's Above Black? If so, is that similar to how the Greys communicated with her?
Well, I'm once again very sorry, but as I stated earlier, I've never really read a full book of AT stuff. I've not been able to. I'm put to sleep. Evidently, they don't want me to get confused with my own experiences or something. So I'm sorry.
I agree with you on that, Miesha. I think that's exactly why they do that, because you talk to many experiencers and they all don't even know who the other experiencers are. I mean, people think the only reason I know is because for some reason they want me to know everybody. I figured that out. That one came to me right early on, that I needed to know everybody and that they were going to do everything in their power to make it so that I met everybody so I could put all my pieces together. And that's where the radio show came into play. Because like I said, I would never be here at this point except for I know they set this up for this to happen to me. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's quite extraordinary. So, okay, next question this is from Redshift. Has Miesha any knowledge of an ET race that can actually shapeshift or change their form? Maybe they can present themselves in a more palatable form to lessen the shock. So what were we saying earlier about the fact that you think they don't really shapeshift, or that they think they let you see what they want you to see, so they're not really physically shape-shifting? Was that your opinion?
Yeah, that's my opinion of my experience, what I've seen. They make you see what they want you to see. I mean, the Greys do it, the reptilians do it, all of them do it. And this whole thing about shape-shifting, I think there's very few shape-shifting groups. There are some that I've heard that there are, but I've not met them. And even in the underground with the ETs I've seen and the reptilians I've seen in the underground bases, they didn't shape-shift either.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Even in the ritual ceremonies, I never saw them shape-shift.
Interesting. That's very interesting. I'm going to have to put that into the old hopper and see if I can cross correlate that with anybody else's statements. This is very cool, Miesha. Thank you for that. Okay, so here's the big question of the night. This is from Sky33. He wanted to know, or she, I'm sorry, it is a she. I know it's a she. I'm sorry I said that. It is a she. I wonder what the genitalia look like on the reptilian. So basically, if you could talk about it without getting too graphic, it would be very interesting to hear.
Okay. Right. I'm going by an experiencer's experience. I do not remember ever seeing any genitalia. But one other person remembers having an experience when it was a romantic time and the ET was above her, and all of a sudden she saw something that was somewhere in the lower part of the region of the body, and it was like a flower kind of thing, and it started like opening up. This flower thing started opening up, and out came an extra appendage, So I would say they're both male and female because of that.
Well, do you think that when you say extra appendage, did it look like a regular?
Yes, it looked like a regular guy. Okay. Yes, She said it was, somewhat regular, much larger, but.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm just laughing here, folks, because that's the first time I've ever heard that. But hey,
well, of course, my God, they're 7 feet plus tall. They weigh 300 pounds. You know, or are they going to have, you know?
Oh, that's true. That's true. Well, you know, the part that I found more intriguing than the size, to be honest with you, is the fact that it's like an extra appendage, so it can kind of do its own thing without being attached to a body. Is that kind of what I'm hearing here?
Well, you know, I don't know, but if it's first a flower with kind of a hole kind of thing, and then something comes out of it, I think that reptilian can be with a male as well. You see what I mean? I think they're sexes. I think they're both sexes.
I agree. I think I don't think sex is really an issue with them, but I mean, and I say that lovingly. It's so bizarre to me just to even be talking about this. But was that Pamela Stonebrook that you heard that from?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay. So this was somebody else, because Pamela described something very similar. You know that, right?
No, I haven't read her book.
Yeah, I haven't read her book either, but I did hear her talk about it on a radio show one day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said there's something about it opened up and it came out of the body in a different way than being external to a man's regular anatomy. And I thought that was very interesting, because that, just like you said, it would have to be probably both sexes in ones. Very similar. Did you ever see the movie? Oh God, I can't remember the name of it now. Enemy Mine.
I did.
Yeah, and he was both sexes, and he was kind of reptilian looking. I thought that was a very interesting movie.
He was definitely reptilian. Yes.
Yeah. So, hey, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you guys. Now, you've got the scoop from the women that know, right?
And I will tell you, we all agree they're very, very unconditionally loving, and we feel the most amazing kundalini. So I got to tell you that.
Yeah, and I have men that have told me stories about some very interesting stuff. Maybe we'll have to have them on talking about their experiences at some point too, because it's very interesting, I gotta say. Well, folks, we're almost over. It's about 30 seconds to that time. And Miesha, one more time, how do people get a hold of you and how do they find you?
Okay, probably the best way is go to starseedawakening.org. That's my website. You can go on the services, and you can go to any of my sites from the services area. And then you can also email me at starmisha99@yahoo.com.
There you go. And don't forget to listen to her on Revolution. Yeah, don't forget to listen to Miesha on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com on Saturday afternoons from 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, folks, that's it for tonight, and we'll see you next week here on the California MUFON Radio Show. Good night.